Hello and welcome to the news button. In this week's strategic affairs analysis, we shall put the spotlight on why did Russia give up the Snake Island. Friends, in the ongoing conflict with Ukraine, Russia startled military observers worldwide by making a surprise move on June the 30th to vacate the famous Snake Island as a gesture of goodwill. Is it a gesture of goodwill on the part of Russia, or a clear judicious military move compelled by long-range artillery and missile fire from Ukraine? The reason is dubious and confusing. So what is the real reason behind Russia abandoning the very island it had zealously occupied in the very first phase of the war to enforce sea denial to Ukraine? After the Russian forces withdrew from the island, it was demonstrated to the global community that Russia doesn't want to meddle with the UN efforts to create a humanitarian corridor for the exports of agricultural products from Ukrainian territory. To better understand the reason, let's cut the clutter. In the first week of the war, the Russian Black Sea Fleet had captured the Snake Island with a naval attack led by the former flagship Moskva and the patrol boat Vasily Bykov of Project 22160. The triangular island, the strategic location of the island, and supported the blockade of Odessa. But the situation changed in Ukraine's favor after the powerful Moskva was sunk by Ukrainian Neptune missile attacks. The Moskva was not just a ship, it was much more than a flagship. It provided very potent air defense for the Russian fleet in wider waters. It acted as the command and control center of the fleet. After the unfortunate loss of the Moskva, Russia's Black Sea Fleet lost its teeth and started melting down. In the absence of the Moskva, Ukraine's TB2 drones had negligible dangers in the sky and started asserting themselves in the region. Occupation of the Snake Island heaped on Russia multiple military benefits. Maintaining the blockade of the shipping lanes to Odessa and other Ukrainian ports, the strategic island was used to house patrol boats patrolling the blockade area and to provide logistical support to those patrol boats. Even after the sinking of the Moskva, the island served as an unsinkable, highly effective naval command center in enforcing sea denial to Ukraine. Besides, the geostrategic location of the island also put Russia in an advantageous position vis-a-vis NATO member Romania. Since the island is in close proximity to Romania, it would have allowed Russia to threaten NATO and extend its reach by deploying coastal missiles. Despite the tailing strategic advantages and opportunities, Russia abandoned the island. The real reason is not far to seek. In fact, Russia couldn't muster the ability to hold it for long. The abandoning of the island exposes the incompetence of the notoriously corrupt Russian armed forces. It exposes several shortcomings of the Russian military in the field of operational planning, effective command and control, logistical support, small munitions capability, and personnel training. The shortcomings went on to impose very high costs on Russia. Second, the Russian military intelligence incompetence. It clearly falls short when it comes to clearly assess the capabilities of its enemy and redirect its operations accordingly. It had to pay a heavy price for this, with the unthinkable incident of the sinking of the Moskva, their Black Sea Fleet flagship. Third, prohibitive cost to hold and maintain the island. Military think tanks and strategic affairs experts world over still wonder as to what barred the mighty Russian Air Force to control the airspace in the Black Sea. This inability of the Russian Air Force emerged as one of the principal reasons behind Russia abandoning the Snake Island. The cost of this operative target has been increasing day by day since Russia failed to establish air superiority and showed weakness in the use of ISR capabilities and air power to neutralize time-sensitive and mobile targets. It became untenable to hold the strategic island for long. As I have earlier said, as the TB2 drones attacked Russia's patrol boats on the way to the island, causing huge losses, this increased Russia's trauma in naval battles. The situation further worsened when US produced Harpoon anti-ship missiles joined the Ukrainian arsenal. And after a large tugboat carrying the TOR air defense system was sunk by Ukraine, it became very difficult for Russia to reinforce the island. The cost of retaining the island became more expensive than Russia had earlier expected. The Russians woke up to a new naval loss every week. Fourth, the arrival of Western long-range artillery. Since it became almost impossible in these conditions to carry out amphibious attacks from the island, the Russian Navy thought it strategically wise to vacate it and can ill afford to lose men and material to Ukrainian artillery and missile strikes. Since the island is just 40 kilometers away from the Ukrainian coast, it falls inside the operational range of Ukraine's coastal missile batteries as well as gunnery units. Let's not forget the timing. It happens at the same time when Western long-range heavy artillery arrives in Ukraine to wreak havoc on the Russian assets. Fifth, alternative points for amphibious attacks. As far as Odessa blockade is concerned, the Russian Naval Command might be thinking that it can be carried out from a safer distance at some alternative point. So why to export strategic assets stationed on the island unnecessarily to hostile fire? Sixth, changing military objectives. Right now, Russian forces are focusing on completely dominating the Sea of Azov and the Donbas region, while continuing the blockade of the port of Odessa. So it can be rightly argued, therefore, that the expense of retaining Snake Island in this situation does not correspond to actual military realities. In fact, this could be the most important reason, unlike previous cases, Russia decided to voluntarily vacate an occupied territory. In fact, 2 days back, Russia returned to bombard the island to destroy whatever traces of military intelligence left on the previously occupied territory. This ensures no military secret falls into the enemy hands. This also signifies no intention of Russia to return to the islands in near future, depending, of course, on changing military realities. So will Ukraine send men and materials to claim back the islands? Possibly not. It might just have to be satisfied with putting its own flag on the islands, fearing Russian missile strikes. Hope you liked the conversation. So what are you waiting for? Just share your thoughts in the comment section. And if you haven't already, then like and subscribe to our channel. It will help us producing newer videos of your choice. So stay tuned with us. Till then, goodbye. Thanks for your time.